Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. So, I wasn't actually going to record any message today, but I'm really feeling called to that there's something that it needs to get to you. So, the first thing that I'm feeling it is that uh, I'm feeling a lot my shoulders. So I feel like you are removing a burden off your shoulders. Okay. But then at the same time, you're not really used to that lightness. And because you're not used to that lightness, you're kind of feeling weird. You don't know what the fuck to do. I am recording this on December 20th. So, um, new moon just happened. We're entering Capricorn season as the winter solstice. And I also feel called to use a new deck that I haven't used yet with you. So I know there's this feeling that you're actually leaving things behind, and really choosing something new. Hmm, that's quite interesting. So let's go deep. So I got this deck, you know, probably 1 month ago. Anyway, this message is timeless and just take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. Um, is the Meraki Tarot, the fourth edition. Like I'm just showing the box for you guys first, because I think it's cool. So anyway, um, on this deck, they have some duplicated cards, and they also have some special cards. So I haven't used it before. I so I think this deck is also really interesting because instead of a book, I don't know why I said like that, set up like a booklet, uh, they have some information on the cards. What I think is quite interesting, and also the back of the cards are really pretty, you know. Lots and lots of flowers. Maybe some of these flowers can mean something for you. I don't know which flowers these are, but if you know and if you like to comment, feel free to do so. Anyway, so I think it's interesting that they did information on the cards instead of a book. Anyway, just saying. Okay. I think I've somehow already shuffled, but let's. No, what I usually do, I check the cards first, and while I'm checking the cards, I start like shuffling them and putting them. I'll mix it up, so to get a nice shuffle. Four on the timer. One more. One more. Guys, 10 of wands at the bottom of the deck. Can you guys see it? Is it focusing? I don't know. Beautiful card. But 10 of wands, it's about heaviness, right? To have a lot of burden, but it's also the end of that. So that's what I'm feeling it, that you are letting go of this burden. You are at the end, and because it's a 10 card, like you are at the end. What we have on the top? We have 5 of wands. That for me feels like you are in a conflict right now about it, you know, because you don't know how to deal with it, because you don't know what a life is without that burden. Hmm, really interesting. Okay, so let's see what's the message for you today. Okay, we got 9 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and 3 of Swords. So, 9 of Pentacles. So, it's quite interesting because perhaps you don't know how it feels to truly feel good about yourself, with yourself. Beautiful card. It's like, look at this fox just feeling so peaceful. And perhaps you don't know how to feel like that. I feel like that perhaps you feel um a burden about it, or you feel that it's not right to feel good. And I think you're having some, how can I say this? Some tasting of how that feels, of what you can be, who you can be, and how you can feel, if you keep doing what you're doing, if you keep letting go of this burden, you know. Um, so that's the thing. That's the feeling here, the energy here, that like you're letting go of this burden, but you're also in conflict because you've been carrying that burden for a really long time. So you don't know how it feels to don't carry that burden. But not carrying the burden is like the 9 of Pentacles, to feel good, to feel free, right? Of that burden, to just be yourself and you enjoy yourself in your environment with what you have and with who you are. And we also have the Page of Pentacles. Guys, such beautiful cards. And I love the colors too. So it's funny because at first, when I saw this deck, there were a few. So the cards that caught my attention were the cards with the foxes that really liked. I wasn't a really big fan of the rest of the cards. I'm really picky about my decks. I like, and that's with any tarot reader, right? We need to connect with the deck to be able to actually you know, connect to actually be able to read it, and we can work together, right? Because the decks, they are my tools, so we need to work together. But it's funny because I haven't used this before, and I already feel a connection with it. Even though the imagery is not my favorite, but my I don't know. Now looking at it, it feels different. I guess I'm just a different person from when I took a look before. Anyway, with the Page of Pentacles, yes, it is the Page of Pentacles. So with the Page of Pentacles, I feel here that you're, excuse me, I'm feeling, I feel different things here. So take what resonates. So the first one, it's that there are things that are coming to you, okay, in a matter of opportunities, or even like communication, or someone communicating something to you that leads to an opportunity, or leads to something that you've been wanting to. Also, it could be that you're actually, how can I explain this? Help me. um, you're actually understanding what it means to take care of your pentacle, right? Because the card before, it was Nine of Pentacles. But, for you to get to a point that you can handle Nine Pentacles, you need to be in a really positive and a really high frequency energy, right? You cannot just go from 0 to 10, 0 to 9 in this case, because it's not how it works. So I feel like you're having a taste of what feels to be in the Nine of Pentacles, but you're not totally there yet. And now you're understanding how to take care of each pentacle. Yes, I don't know if it makes sense, but it's like, you know, imagine like Dragon Ball is coming to my mind right now. But imagine it. So I don't remember what was about the Dragon Balls. Is that you need to find all of them and make a wish, and the dragon comes, something like that, right? So imagine like that you need to collect all those balls, or the pentacles, right? So you can get to the nine pentacles or balls, whatever, and to actually be able to feel that. But then now you're understanding what each pentacles, which we, what each pentacle means, or what each pentacle means in your life or for you. So, for example, I'll give you a general example. So, like, the Nine of Pentacles is like a card of like you being good to yourself, or like, yes, being good to yourself, because you're taking care of yourself. You are good where you are. You feel self-sufficient. Is a really confident person. Is someone who is like financially stable, even if it's not like stable, but you know how to handle things around you, and it's not like you stress over it all the time. So let's say one pentacle could be self-care. You know, could be any type of self-care. Depends like what makes you feel good. Let's say the other pentacle is hanging out with friends. The other pentacle is I know, um, going out for dinner, you know. So anyway, so you're trying to figure out now what each pentacles means. What is each pentacle for you, so you can have all the nine of them. Okay. And then we have the Three of Swords. I think this card is really interesting because in most of the decks, the Three of Swords it's pictured with like a big heart, and then the three swords on the heart, right? The big heart. Not in this one. In this one, there are one, two, three, four, five hearts, and only one heart is stabbed. And there are leaves, and there are this wind and rain. So interesting here, but the same way that I feel that you are letting go of this burden, I feel like it's almost like you've been through a heartbreak. You've been through a heartbreak, or you were really frustrated about something. It could be about this burden. I don't know what it is, but then now you are unstabbing. I don't know how to say that if it's correct, or like removing the swords from the hearts, and you already did too. I, I don't know. That's probably why I felt called to. There's always a reason. That's always like I cannot use the same deck in every reading. I usually go with my intuition, which deck is calling me, because there's always a rhythm. So anyway, so I think you are removing these swords. So yes, so like you can maybe feel whole again. Um, and because there's wind and there's rain here, I feel like you are in the middle. It's almost like a tower moment, like the Five of Wands is a really conflict energy. It almost like there's a hurricane happening, and at the same time, you need to remove the swords. You need to look for the pentacles. You need to, you know, um, it feels like there's a bunch of things happening on the outside, um, and you're trying to like to deal with that, which is life, right? Is like, but also like trying to get to this Nine of Pentacles energy that is like being able to handle things on the outside, but it's still like keeping your shit together. Okay, I'll get the top and the bottom. So at the top, we have the Ten of Wands. I don't know. I just think this card is so fucking beautiful. The fact that there's this full moon on the back and the deer or antler, right? Antler is carrying all these wands on is a thing called antler? I don't know. Anyway, but this is a confirmation about the burden. But to be quite honest, I think you are freeing up the burden. And guys, the card on the top is the Fool. This is such a beautiful energy. And look at this card. There's also like the wind. you know, there's no rain, but here, look, the Three of Swords, like things looks a little bit more chaotic somehow, but on the card, like here, right? Oops, here, like things looks a little bit more chaotic, but on the full things, the wind looks a little bit more like even magic, right? It's more, it's more intentional, I think. So yeah, so I love how all this like I love all the synchronicities. You know, like I said, we just had a new moon in Sagittarius. There's We're entering the winter solstice. We are entering the Capricorn season too. It really feels that there you are also entering this new beginning, with all this energy, which is a fucking awesome energy to be with, to be quite honest, guys. Okay, so the Fool. Okay, yeah, I feel like just saying a few things about. So on these cards, they also have some signs on the cards. A dog can be meaningful. I was meant to say that. A dog, because at the Fool card, we have a dog here. Ooh, this way. There's a dog here. Um, Cute dog, like a black dog. Anyway, so on these cards they have some, like signs and stuff. And I just want to check because it can be meaningful for some of you. So, Solar System Association. So the full card is associated with Uranus, my inner rebel, originality, change, individuality. So yes, default, it's about a new beginning, it's about taking risks, it's about so perhaps there are something that you're taking or risk. To be quite honest, just the fact that you're letting go of this really heavy burden, it almost feels like it's already a risk that you're taking because you don't quite know, right? Um, I don't know how. Yes, you just don't know. And this is awesome. I get it. That is a little bit scary. Uh, but once you realize how you can feel about yourself, things change. You cannot get back, like go back to who you were. I swear to you. Once you realize how is not to have that burden. Okay, so, and the fall that we said, right, is Uranus. Um, Astrological signs, the ruler Uranus is Aquarius, originality, vision, and the phrase and the things that you can say to you can practice to say is I know. This is a really tricky one though, but I would recommend you to do for about yourself. So I know be I know I can feel good being on my skin. I know I can feel good about being myself. You know, you could do that. Let's see. Okay, so I'll say a little bit about the numbers. We do have swords, the three of swords. I know, I feel like reading these things for some reason. If you don't want to, that's the reading. Of course, if I get anything else, I'll say it. But I know, I just feel called to just go over this for some reason. So, okay, here, like three of swords. Argumentative, conflict, betrayed, loss, aggression, compromise, disorder. So yeah, it's like feeling perhaps you were feeling betrayed, but it could have been like a situation. But I think here it's a lot about yourself, how you feel about yourself, to be quite honest. Maybe you felt I was recently I was getting a lot this energy about feeling that you lost an opportunity. So maybe you are seeing that like there's no really such thing and that you're actually saying, okay, I need to get back on my feet and do what I have to do. That kind of feeling, that's it's pretty good. Okay, so let's see here. The Fool. Innocence, trust, courage, freedom, blind faith, daydreamer, risk taking. Yes, I feel like now it's also like a good time for you to think about what you want. Truly daydream. I know we're living Sag season. That is really this sign that is really like explorer, traveler, right? But it's the energy of Sag that anything can happen. You can be anyone. And then we're entering Capricorn. So, and it's interesting because there are the pentacles here, right? So you're probably like in this season you start to feel more stable, more perhaps you're feeling that all these pentacles that you're collecting, it's what will bring you a better sense of foundation. Wands. We have 10 of Wands. 10, 10, 10. Workload, burden, commitment, avoidance, burnout, stubborn. Pentacles, we have the Page of Pentacles, ambitious, devoted, explorer, innocence, delays, immature, or irresponsible. So yeah, so um here I think like once you start to understand what your pentacles are, you're gonna be really devoted to find all the pentacles. You get to the nine. And and perhaps in the past you were a little bit immature with that, a bit irresponsible. But I feel like it's not the energy right now. I think you're growing out of that energy. Then we have Nine of Pentacles. Accomplishments, confidence, comfort, deception, fortune, beyond means. So I think that's how you were feeling before, or how you're still kind of feeling it right now, like this deception that you don't really feel good with yourself. But when you start to collecting your pentacles, you're gonna see how much you accomplish and around like how much you accomplish, and you're gonna start feeling more confident and comfortable on your own skin. Hmm. Okay, so the full Uranus air is a really mind card. And if you'd like to, like, they also have like crystal association, what I think is really cool. I don't know much about crystals, but I always think it's if you feel called to, I have crystals, but it's not my main connection. But I do work with them. But anyway, so for you then, because you got the full here, you can use green tourmaline, wonder, joy, patience, connect. Hmm, interesting. Well, guys, I just felt called to just double check a few things here. I'm getting 9 months. Maybe there's something that happened 9 months ago. Hmm, I know. You know. Anyway, guys, I am really happy for you that you are in this energy because, like I said before, 3131 the timer, when you get in this, when you start finding pentacle by pentacle, you're gonna see how it feels really good. But I feel like you're already having a tasting of that. You're just like you still like you're not sure what it is yet because it's new. It's something that you haven't felt in a really long time. So I think this is good for you. This is so freaking good. Hmm. Okay, so this is the message for today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And anyway, see you in the next one. Bye bye.